Hey guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of the rose window uh, creation series. And so today we are gonna make this leaf pattern, and we're gonna continue on to our primary uh, elements. And so before we made this earlier in part 1, this four clover um, design, and today we're gonna continue on to the main kind of this leaf um, design here. And so the way to do that, if you can imagine, is this is the leaf like this, right? And so the way we're gonna attempt this is pretty simple. We are gonna make this I'm sorry. I'm bad at drawing. And we're gonna make this shape first, and we're gonna then kind of squeeze it from the bottom like this, and so it will become something like this, right? And yeah, let's get started. So first of all, I'm gonna need a circle. So I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna scale this down just a bit so that it's more manageable, and I'm gonna take another shape, and this time I need a square. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a transform 2D node in front of both of these, and if you ever use a transform 2D node, a really annoying thing happens, which is like if you scale it down, it uh, that it gets tiled automatically, which can be useful in a lot of cases, but for us it's just straight up annoying. So I'm gonna turn it off. If you go here in tiling mode, you can just set the kind of mode to absolute, and then you can turn off the tiling, right, like this. So it's kind of annoying doing it every time to a transform 2D node, but but yeah, you can just do that. So I'm gonna blend these two real quick so that we can see both of them um, at the same time, and that's yeah, that's pretty much how it is. And it's but you see, it's like a really um, even hemisphere kind of a thing here, which um, which is not what we want, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take another transform 2D node, right? I'm gonna push this up a little bit, and I'm gonna push this to the side a bit. And why I did that, uh, you will get to know in a second. We're gonna make a trim mirror grayscale node here, and what that does is it just copies, uh, it just mirrors everything on the left side onto the right side, and you can also change that inward x-axis, so it will mirror what was on the right side to the onto the left side. So like this, we have this kind of a window shape that we wanted, and now we are going to kind of squeeze it from the bottom area. There's a node for that. It's called trapezoid transform grayscale. It's a pretty useful node in this case. So if you turn this bottom stretch forward, you can see that's doing exactly what we wanted, uh, and and yeah, it's giving that result. And after that, you can just like we did previously, uh, you can put an edge detect node, and that will give you your design finally, and you can use that using a circular splatter. Oops. I'm gonna put this to image input. And so you can see that this we are starting to get that that flowery kind of look. I know it's not obviously it needs to be tweaked a little, but this is what we're gonna do basically. So I'm gonna turn the radius down, but first let's just see how many of these we need actually. So if you count them here, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So we need 12 um, uh, leaves basically. So I'm gonna put the pattern amount from 10 to 12 so that we have an accurate number. And I'm gonna turn the radius down, and I'm gonna scale this up. And actually we need a whole lot bigger than this pattern, a bigger pattern than this. So I'm gonna put this like 5. um, yeah, and maybe even more, just a bit. And what that's doing is basically it's scaling everything up which we don't want, so we can choose to tweak individual sizes from X and Y. So we can just reduce like this, or so with a little bit of tweaking I'm able to get this design here. So keeping the number of patterns which is 12, we have to kind of get this uh, adjacent um, lines coinciding by adjusting the size parameters, the x and y size parameters, the radius, and the trapezoid transform uh, values like this. So you can go ahead and copy my values if you like, um, but I would recommend you playing around with it on your own. So that's the main flower design here, and we are going to see how it looks with our 4 clover design. So I'm gonna blend it, and let's just kind of increase the size a bit. Now it's our turn to make the triangular kind of, I don't know what this shape is called, but it's kind of a really it's kind of a tricky thing if you want to make it in designer, because at first glance it just looks like a a fattened triangle, but uh, I couldn't find a good way of fattening a triangle. So um, so if you really think about it, it's kind of a shape which emerges when 3 circles intersect with each other, kind of like this. And so this shape here is what we want. So yeah, it's a kind of a different way of thinking about it. So uh, to do that, we actually need those 3 circles. So what we can do is we can just, I think, use a shape. I mean, splatter circular for this. In pattern mount, we can put 3, and in the pattern, I'm gonna put a disk. Right now, if you turn the radius down, um, we are going to get what we want. So let me just increase the scale a bit. So the way we are going to achieve this is if we just reduce the radius here, and in theory that should get us that shape, right? But the problem here is that every circle here is pure white. So we're gonna have to change that. I'm gonna come into the color section here, and if we turn off global opacity, it's gonna turn it out like this. But if we change the blending mode to add and then turn down the global opacity, it's gonna eventually give us that shape. Now it's also giving us the intersections of the other intersections which we don't want. So I'm gonna take a levels node here, and I'm gonna try to get rid of those, yeah, like this kind of. And I'm gonna use a clamp grayscale node so that we don't have anything, any undesired values. And so that's how we get this. Now this is kind of rotated, and so you can easily just rotate it using a transform 2D, or what you can do is we can just rotate the ring of the splatter. So I'm gonna do that, the ring rotation, yeah. And so I have this with me now. I think it's better if I have it like this, yeah. Now same thing, we're gonna again splatter it in a circle, and we're gonna and with the edge detect, I'm gonna convert it into a line, and then we're gonna blend it with the others. So let's do that. Edge detect, right? um, and I'm gonna go splatter circular, and don't want this here, I want this here, and image input, and so we have this, right? Now the problem is it's not 12 actually. These are, I think, if you count them, yeah, exactly the double of what we had, the leaves, right? So I'm gonna put 24 here, right? And I'm just gonna blend it right now so that we can see where it is and how it's looking with our design. So we can see that it needs to go further um, from the center. So first of all, let's just increase the scale, right? I think 5, and then I'm gonna push it. So need to increase the scale a bit more, and the edge detect, it's too much. I think it's too thick, and yeah, that's that's pretty much how it is. The problem here right now is, of course, it's intersecting this. So let's try to tweak it a bit more. So I'm gonna increase the radius. Right. Now the problem is the shape itself. It's too the triangle here is fatter than the triangle here. So I'm gonna have to tweak this original splatter. So I'm gonna have to uh, play with the radius a bit and fatten it a bit more. Oops. Yeah, better. That basically touches um, the triangles, and it's also touching the the flower petal. I think this the radius of the splatter should be a bit more. just a little bit. And we can also set the X scale of it. Just too much, I guess. uh, and that's just a little bit, so it doesn't matter that much. Now now again we're having a problem is that the this side of the triangle is causing trouble for us. It's not causing it's not creating a perfect circle, so we're gonna have to actually get rid of this, right? So it's pretty easy to do that. Just blend it with the circle. So let's take a shape, disk, scale it down, and transform 2D, and blend, and blend it to subtract, so that it subtracts the circle. And now if I just move it up, it's gonna subtract it. Actually meant to do that after the edge detect. So yeah, that's yeah, yeah. And then finally we're gonna make a circle for this. So I'm gonna take a shape, disk, and edge detect. Scale it down a bit, and I'm gonna blend it with this. And so need to scale it down just so that it touches the triangles. Yeah, a little bit less width, and yeah, looks good. It looks really good for our first attempt. And then finally, the only thing that remains in the primary section of the shapes is this shape, which we really haven't talked about. And it's pretty simple. It's just three triangles. I can just take this one. I can just set it back to max and global opacity to 1, and set this to edge detect, right? And I can just maybe copy the splatter circular, or I should just make a fresh one. Yeah, that's um, that's that. Put the pattern amount to 12, and let's see it with our design. And so let's just increase the radius and the scale. Oh, where is, yeah, radius, and also we're gonna have to rotate the ring a bit. Yeah, like that. By the way, whenever I'm rotating the ring, I'm pressing shift so that it snaps um, to an increment, which will ensure that if I'm reaching a good rotation, it's actually a good value itself, so that I don't have to set a value which is closest to it, right? So it's basically it sets a good value for us, an even good value. So I'm gonna now increase the scale decrease the radius a bit, and to 9, 5 to 9, 8. Yeah, and I'm gonna increase the edge width a bit now. And that's good. That actually sits really nicely with our design. And that is it for the primary shapes of the circle. In the next part, we're gonna go ahead and actually make the secondary shapes, like which are these, and we're gonna fit them inside um, our design. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something from this, and you find it helpful. So I'm gonna see you next time. Bye bye.